Your name is?
Albert.
Albert. From?
From Ghana.
From Ghana?
Yes.
All right, and I'm Yashiya. And your father's from where?
My father's from Ghana.
And your mother's
My mother's from London.
From London?
Yes.
All right, so originally your father's from Ghana?
Yes, he is.
And you've lived in Ghana?
Yes, I have.
Now, as far as your tribe, or I'm going to just say African, I know it's about Leonis Africanus is where they get the continent, so I'm not sure if they actually call each other Africans there.
Okay.
But we're going to just, like, far as American terminology.
Okay.
You would consider yourself African.
Yes, I do.
They consider the Negro man in America is African American.
Okay.
In Ghana, where you're from, your people, your father, your grandparents, or all those who, raise you and rear you, what do they teach you? Are we the same people or the same tribe according to those in Africa?
Well, they don't really teach you that. So it's only somehow it's only in America where they call, African American.
Right.
Most people in Africa or in Ghana call a black person or a black man in America an American.
So they call him Akata?
Sorry?
They call him Akata? I heard the term before.
Yes, but probably heard the term before, but usually it's just termed American.
Okay.
Or Black American.
Right.
Not so much.
So if I was to come to Africa, would I have an inherited right there according to the people?
Would you have?
An inherited right there, as far as me belonging or coming from the country?
Well, and here's the funny thing. Most people don't say it, but yes, you would.
Okay. Well, how would I?
Which is because here's the funny thing. They don't teach it or they don't say it, but every time they see a so-called Black American, they consider them as being from Africa.
Right, they consider from, but do they consider an African American to be a African like you? Like, would you say that we are of the same tribe of people, or would it be dark skin the same, but different tribe of people?
Yes, dark skin the same, but a different tribe of people.
Okay, so you would consider yourself, now mind you, American terminology, African, as in as far as the continent. Okay. You would have originally, your origins, genetic bloodlines and all those things would be from Africa.
Yes.
But the African American man lived in Africa, but wouldn't be considered from Africa.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So I just wanted to,
Yes.
because
so they would say you're Black American, but
skin color the same.
They would say you're if you dig somewhere, they would say you're from Africa.
From Africa, as in
skin color.
As far as skin color
yes.
goes, well, is that because the first man is supposedly originated from Africa, or is it because it's the same tribe of people from Africa?
It would. Interesting. I'm guessing they would say first people originated from Africa.
Okay, so but as far as us being the same people, like the Bible says that you would be Shemetic, or of, we say you use the African of Kemetic. You ever the term Kemetic?
Okay.
Okay. Now, in the Bible would say that I'm Shemetic, as in I come from the bloodline of Shem, and you come from the bloodline of Ham. Same, still have dark skin, but we're not the same, as in coming from the same father.
Okay.
Same color, but from different nation. Would you say that that's the feeling in Africa?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Okay. So would you say it's a little bit of a disdain for the American man? Like, I mean, seriously.
Actually, I wouldn't.
Some. So would you say, I'm not trying to coach you into what your answer is.
No.
My wife is probably up there cooking, so.
I know.
All right, so
I know.
Would you say that for some Africans, they don't like the fact that the African American man is considered the same as those of Africa, or the tribes of Africa?
Actually, I would say the opposite.
You would say that they don't mind us being known to be from Africa?
No.
But they know that we're not the same as Africans.
Yes.
Now,
I would say they are more welcoming and most Africans I know would be more welcoming to say, oh, that is my brother from Africa, that's my African American brother, or that's, my brother, as compared to, they would say, oh, he is not, although he's black, he's not from Africa.
All right, so would you say that they're saying that we would be brothers in the same of, on the comparison side, the same skin color? So we share, you're my brother as in being of the dark nations, or are you my brother as of being from the same tribe?
Both.
But we're not from the same tribe.
Yes.
So they understand that.
They do understand that.
Do they teach it?
No.
How do you know it then? Somebody had to say something.
Well, they don't teach it in schools per se, but when you grow up,
when you become of mature age, you get
to learn these things, and you get to know these things.
So have you ever been taught of any relationship between what you would call an African American man that lives in this country, who's been, I guess you could say, same way people were Hellenistic in the Greek society, say people were kind of Hellenistic in the Roman society. Now that the African American man is more Americanized, and his ways are pretty much determined by the way America runs itself, and his attitude is that way. Would you say that the African American, the African from Africa finds that disdainful?
Actually, I would say otherwise.
You think they like the fact?
I think that, here's the funny thing. I think right now in Africa, most African men, quote unquote, are more geared towards being like the African American man.
Why? Do you think sports has anything to do with that?
I think it has to do with sports. It has to do
with
culture.
like
it has to do with
TV, movies,
way of life.
So then that's no different than any other nation that likes Denzel Washington, LeBron James.
It's no different.
It's no different. Okay, so
to the point where they try and mimic.
So they dig the spirit of the African American man,
yes.
soul, athletic ability, and things like that.
Yeah.
But they still would know that we're not the same people.
Yes.
Now let me ask you this, just in case you know.
Okay.
Am I taking up too much time?
No.
When, say, all right, let's take it back. When it came time for, let's say, the time of slavery.
Okay.
And we know a long time after that, you had different countries from the European nations that they not only did things to us as a nation, but they did stuff to Africans. All over. I mean, many atrocities. Forced labor, mining for diamonds, gold. Because no matter what anybody says, everybody knows that Africa is the most.
Still going on.
Oh yeah, no doubt. So everybody knows that Africa is the most resource-rich country on the planet. That's why everybody wants a piece of it, particularly the European. But would you say that the darker nations or the darker tribes from Africa had anything to do with the African American man being sent here in slavery? Is that a common knowledge? Because you have to think. Hold on one second. You have to think that if it was really just a matter of taking any dark-skinned man, then the African man would have to say, hey, listen, it's a possibility that my seed or bloodline is with the African American man in slavery here. Therefore, descendants of mine are here too. So if you can make the distinction that, hey, that's them and this is us, would you say that the African tribes, some of them, have knowledge of dealing with the Europeans and the Arabs and the transatlantic slave trades and those things regarding the other black nations?
I think they do. I think deep down, every African feels like somehow if you take any African American man and you dig way down into their background, somebody in their bloodline was from Africa.
Somebody in there.
Yeah.
And also that somebody that was in their bloodline helped sell them into slavery.
Yes.
Do you feel like Africans might feel a sense of, some of them? Like I heard about one of the presidents up in, I believe, was Nigeria. And he had promised certain African Americans of a sense of, I'm going to say responsibility or sorrow, but he felt a responsibility to say, hey, listen, we will allow you asylum in Nigeria because of what happened. Not because you are a people, but probably because of our part in it. So would you say that some Africans feel like a sense of,
being part of something,
and feeling bad in the sense that, hey, we helped do that to them too?
I think some people do. I think to an extent, some people do, because most of the time people who have traveled to Ghana specifically visit some particular places, like the castles and places where people were kept before they were shipped off, and you can still see the chains and all that other stuff, and then they kind of tell the history of it. Those things have been kept intact as a reminder of something that happened some time back and never for it to happen again. So I think people do feel some sense of responsibility for what might have happened.
Well, we know not might, because we are in the present, so we know it happened.
We know what happened. My thought on it is, we as Africans probably had a part to play in it.
Not probably.
We did have a part.
Okay, because probably it kind of leads you an impression that maybe it happened. We know it happened.
If somebody comes and wants to buy your brother and you're not giving your brother away, there's no way they can. And
you're not likely to sell your brother, but you would sell.
We took gunpowder and
trade
furthers and stuff. We traded those things that are worthless for another fellow human being.
Well, let me ask you another question.
Okay.
Now, at the time that those things happened, I'm not saying that you're any type of scholar, or biblical scholar, or historical scholar. No, you said that you're a computer analyst?
Yes.
So you're good with computers. So I'm not in no means saying that, hey, you and the authority on African history, African American history, European, anybody's history. But I'm going to ask you for what you know and what you feel in your spirit, or what you might have learned over the years. Would you say that any so-called Americans, which, by the way, we in this country, most of our people, or some of our people, are coming back to an understanding that we are the biblical Israelites of the Bible, and that we know that we're not African, but we are of the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and part of the lost tribes of Israel. So let me ask you this. When we got here, I'm pretty sure some of us, not every last one of us, was sent here in slavery. Would you say there are tribes in Africa now that some people might say are actually the brothers and sisters of the African American man in this country, and they still reside in Africa today, somewhere there? That people know that they're not African, as in the same bloodline or seed, but know that they are probably of another tribe of black people, that they're still in Africa today, somewhere in the land.
It's possible, yeah.
Would you know of any particular?
Not
rumors, anything.
Well, there are. So in Africa, there are several tribes.
Like what? Like this? Indulge me.
Especially in Ghana.
What's the name?
In Ghana. In West Africa, Ghana. Okay. Specifically.
Now, I've heard that.
There are at least about 15 to 20 different tribes.
And what about you?
If not more. I am from a particular tribe.
Are you one of those tribes?
That
could possibly be more, not my brother because we're the same color, but more probably from the same bloodline, or you specifically know that you're from Africa?
No, it is possible.
That you are?
Yes.
And I've kind of got that feeling, but who am I to say?
It is possible. Yes, it is.
Okay, so let me get some of them tribes, if you don't mind.
Well, there's the Ashanti tribe.
Okay, we've heard of them. They're kind of Judaism, but
there's the Fanti tribe.
sorry, Ashanti, Funti.
There's Fanti. There's Tree. TWI.
Uh-huh.
There's the Ga tribe. There's the Ga Dangbek tribe. And a lot more. There's the northern part of Ghana, which have the Northerners, which is another tribe as well.
Okay.
So there's a whole.
There's a few of them.
Oh, there is.
That go by to understand that they could possibly be of another nation or tribe than the majority that would be Africans there.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And just to say this, so people, if you take for example some tribes in Ghana, some of them even believe they came from different parts.
They did. Some of them did.
To become, what you call Ghana right now, and their tribes. They don't all believe they were,
originally in Africa.
Yeah.
So their spirit is bearing witness that they came probably
from different places.
Has any of them ever said Israel or in that area, Jerusalem?
Not that I'm sure there are probably a few people who that think so, but I'm not that I've heard somebody say.
Well, that's fine.
But it's possible.
I mean, it's a curiosity to me. So I know everything that we're saying right here. Even it's not a lot of fact as far as who exactly is who. I know that we're the Israelites here, and I know that Africans are different from particularly us. But which tribes of our people still are there, and they know that they're not, we'll just say, known as African or whatever the case may be, because a lot of times through history, European history, they end up changing your nation as they see fit. So it kind of leaves you to search. So I just wanted to know if there's any tribes there, according to what you might know. Okay. Not saying that you're the authority, but just what your feelings are and what you might have heard being from the land.
I think they are, definitely.
Well, I appreciate, man, you taking the time to do this with me. And hey, man, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.